think I better get up. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
Welcome back to Mondays with Cole. On this rainy day, we're going to tap into the training and certification class with Mike from Mr. Sparkle Window Cleaning, as well as Blake from Brightway Cleaning Services. Take a look as they go through the training and certification process.
There's no limit to what you can do with glass if you understand what the limitations are. We are going to teach you how to get very aggressive with glass and safely, but I mean our most aggressive disc, the red disc, if you were to go to one of your customers or to a glazer and say, yeah, I'm going to put that on a high-speed grinder and touch your glass, they're going to look at you like, are you kidding me? No, I'm not going to do that. And it's important to understand that yes, that can be done. It's also important to understand too, with this only being 2/1000 of an inch thick, this is an 1/8 inch piece of tempered glass right here. From a, you are going to be making the glass slightly thinner, but overall you're actually going to improve the strength. Now that I've put these scratches on here, it wouldn't take much. I could probably with a pair of scissors just hit it hard enough and I'll get a crack along one of these. When I grind these scratches out and I go back with that, I could probably hit it with a hammer 5 or 6 times before it's going to quit. Okay, so scratches, if you've seen people cut glass, or I don't know if you've ever watched how glass is cut, but the manner that it's cut, they score it and pop it along the line. And so when you're removing scratches, you're taking surface stress out of the glass, so even though it's getting slightly thinner, what the net effect is you're actually increasing the strength of the glass. And the final strength of the glass, even though it is slightly thinner, will be, there's a negligible difference between that and a fresh virgin piece of glass that hasn't been built.
After Cody talked some shop with these guys, I talked with them a little bit about the GlassRenu system, and then we started right into some light damage, showing them exactly how I use these tools to remove surface damage from glass.
Rule of thumb, on, off, grinder speeds at a 3.5. And I just want to stay flat the whole time. As long as you can stay flat on the glass, that's pretty much the biggest part of the learning curve is staying flat. That's what I really want to get you guys through right away. And as soon as you can stay flat, the rest is just going through the motions. All right. So put it on and get some power. So right now, what I'm going to start by doing is just covering all the area that has the scratches on it, all the damaged area. And now that I got a nice haze, I'm going to begin my contact motion. Just staying flat, moving very evenly, using my body too, not just reaching with my arms. Perfect. So then I just want to stop. Now if I'm staying flat, these discs are made to contain a lot of glass stock. You can see there's not a lot of dust flying around because it's all pretty much contained right there, which is what I'm looking for, staying flat. That's what you're going to get. When you start to lift an edge, you're going to see that the dust will shoot out that side. It's a real good indication that you've lifted up your edge. Just want to correct yourself pretty quickly. We'll get to that when that happens. So at this point, what I want to do is take my wire brush and just go ahead and tap some of this dust off. If I'm trying to remove damage, I want to keep the disc as clean as possible because what happens stock in there, it's not doing nearly as much grinding as when it's clean. Other thing I want to do as well is I want to check the temperature of the glass. So right now I've heated it up to about 95, I'd say. Yeah, 95 is the highest point. The glass temperature to start with is about 65 degrees, so I've only gone up 30 degrees or so. The general rule of thumb, what you want to do is you never want to go 80 degrees above the surface temperature. So we want to sit 70 to 80 degrees above the surface temperature of the glass. And if it's 90 degrees or 100 degrees outside, don't get it above 150. 150 is a good threshold, just being very safe. Anything hotter than that, just take a step back, let the glass cool down for a second, and we'll get back going too. If you start working within a foot of the frame, keep it 50 degrees above the surface temperature, because it doesn't have a lot of room for the heat to dissipate. So just 50 degrees when you're a foot within the frame. Other than that, 70 to 80 for the center.
And I'm assuming that's all in here.
Yeah, that thing has everything I'm saying here. That has probably more of it.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so still trying to get the scratch out, so we'll just go back through the same motion. All right, so I'm going to stop. I want you guys to come up here and check, make sure all the scratches are gone. You can see it's pretty quick, actually. I've been grinding for a whole minute, maybe.
You're gonna polish. Do you polish it after this, right?
We're going to go to pre-polishes
Okay.
next. Yes.
All right. I don't see any for now.
All good?
All right.
All right, perfect. We'll move on then. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start doing the same. I'm going to do the same thing. Start right in the center of the haze and just work this haze a little bit, doing 2 or 3 passes. And remember, a pass is up and down, left and right. That's one pass. So I'm going to do 2 to 3 passes, and you're going to start to see that the haze is going to start clearing up as well. You want to stay flat. I'm going to say this all day, and you guys might get sick of it, but flat is the key to this tool. So what we're going to do also is we're going to get a good buildup on our disc of glass stock, and we'll eventually use that glass stock to further pre-polish the window, clearing up the haze even further and getting rid of any little swirls that might be in there. So I'm going to start right in the center again. Grinder speed is still to 3.5. I haven't adjusted it at all. And you'll see right from the get-go that it starts clearing the haze up a little bit. Now you can see up too that I'm not really feathering at this point. I haven't really feathered out any further. I'm just starting to clear up this haze, which you can tell is a lot more transparent than it was after that black disc. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing. Another 2 to 3 passes through the center, and then I'll stop and we'll knock the dust off again. Alright, you can see you got another buildup on there. That's what I'm looking for. Check our temperature quickly. We're at 120 degrees, so we still got a little bit of room to work with. I'll let it cool down just a little bit. But the joy about this part is that even though I have to stop and tap this off, the glass is cooling down. So you have to stop, so the glass will have to cool down at some point. Just remember to keep checking that temperature. It's very important. So now what I want you guys to do, come stand around me quick, because I want to show you a couple things. So look at the outside edges. If there's one thing that's left over in a lot of repairs, it's the outside edges, and they call it shadow marks when you're finished with it. So you'll see that the center's clear, but you'll see this ring that goes around the glass. So what we're going to do is really transition this haze into an even smoother, finer haze, to where when you do polish it out, you don't see that transitional line. Just making sure that the ground glass and unground glass is going to match together and become real clear. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get a full buildup on this disc, and that's when I'm going to actually use the buildup to further fine out this haze by cranking up my grinder speed all the way to a 6. So check this out. I'll start in the center. I'm going to do one last pass just through the middle of it, just to rebuild my disc at this point. So that was my one last pass, and if I stop, you can see I got the full buildup on there. This is what I'm looking for. So with that buildup, normally without stopping, what I'm going to do is crank my speed all the way up. Now come put your hand on the body of the grinder. Just touch the body for a second. You feel those vibrations? That's what I'm looking for. That tells me that this disc is 100% caked up in glass set. That's a good sign. It's the grinder telling me that it's built up and it's ready to be turned up to a higher speed. Now I've gone through the center one last time. I'm going to go right around the edges. Watch the transition that the edges get. So we go around the edges and then one last pass through the middle. And that's pre-polishing right there.
Alright.
Pre-polishing, I'd say, if there's one thing people skimp on, it's the pre-polishing stage, and that's because you just kind of, the question is, when are you done? Follow that process, and I have we've made a really good video online that's up right now for a reminder of everything that I just showed you right there for pre-polishing. The biggest things are staying flat, getting that build-up, and then turning your speed up to a 6. And you can see, see how smooth that transition is on the haze there. Alright. And then I just want to work the edges. Now at this point you guys can go, if you want to sit down, feel free to, because it's just a matter of going through the motions here. There's no special way that you need to polish. You don't need to go in any certain motion or anything, because it's just polishing. You can't break, you can break the window, but you can't scratch it anymore. You can't create any more work for yourself. And you can't over polish glass. So as it's kind of dried up a little bit, you can already tell it's starting to clear up at the top. Every time I stop, I want to rough this up a little bit. Right. So you can see I'm only doing the top half right now too. Reason being is because I want to do a section at a time. If I can get the top looking perfect, I can probably get the bottom looking good too. If I can't get the top looking perfect, I'm probably going to have issues with the bottom. Yeah. So if I have issues with the top, rather than try to do the bottom, I'll just redo whatever would need to be done to both. And if anything doesn't look fine, let me know on that as well.
Looks good.
When I finished up, it was time to get these guys started. They got to grind and polish right away from start to finish, getting used to the feel of the GlassRenu system. They got started grinding and polishing right away. We were working on light damage, then some acid etching, and finally some deeper damaged scratches into glass. Cody and I gave them some tips and tricks along the way, and we're trying to help them critique their style and their technique when it comes to using the system and holding it flat on the glass. Just little things that are going to make it easier for them.
Show a lot of
This is Mike from Mr. Sparkle Window Washers in Oakland, California. We have chosen GlassRenu because we've tried a couple different other systems, all without success. And it seems to be a new product where the creators have really taken the time to produce something great. The training here went really good. The owners were very detailed in describing the product and very fun, and I think their customer service is beyond anything else. So I'm really anxious to get out on the field and try it. But from the tests that we've done here, everything went great.
Hey, this is Blake with Brightway Window Cleaning, based out of Fargo, North Dakota. The guys were great. They very detail oriented. They spelled everything out perfectly. The training was awesome. Product seems great. I can't wait to get out and try it. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Thank you for watching this episode of Mondays with Cole. For more information on the GlassRenu system, you can visit windowcleaningresource.com or glassrenu.com. For more information on the training and certification course, give us a call at 888-769-0001. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.